as big business moves toward AI, as more big box chains knock out mom and pop shops, as we get messaged to death by bots and told to comment tacos on this post so that we get a weird magic internet elf to send us some guide. In a time of all this weirdness, we need, or I propose, a counterculture movement back to humanity in business. Back to a place where you and I can connect. We can sit down face to face. We can hop on the phone without even necessarily needing to plan it. Just because I'm a human and you're a human and I seek connection and you seek connection. It really is that simple. But we feel the need to use these booking softwares and these online platforms, and there is utility in all of it, yes, and only if there is humanity in business. I'm here right now in San Diego, in La Jolla, with one of my mentors. His name's Blake LaGrange, and he's an interesting guy. He's a deeply spiritual man, and that drives how he shows up in the world with his business and his decisions. And he and I got together and talked about how things need to change, how I need to change. As businesses grow, the tendency is to move towards systems, where there's a person who sets sales appointments and a person who closes sales appointments. And you have these big complex funnels, some of which are really obvious with the countdown timers. Some of them are a little more insidious or sneaky with like what seems like a warm-hearted message to get you to join this group, but really you can tell once you get in there that it's not what you thought it was. And now we get into the world of AI where all bets are off, and we're really gonna have a hard time discerning what is real and what is not, which means heart connection and face-to-face interaction is going to become a vital part of business for people that value that connection. And the reality of the situation is that people do not need more information. You guys don't need to hear more knowledge. When I talk about the gene keys, I talk about wisdom versus knowledge. There's a big difference. Knowledge being of the intellect, of the mind, wisdom being driven from the heart, which comes about from connection. And that's what people really need. The reason that there is a guru, which I am not, and a devotee relationship is that that devotee connects so deeply to the guru that the aura begins to affect them and begins to open them. So it's the precious connection between people that does the work. And that's in anything, whether it is the spiritual world, or it's in the branding world, or you're working towards being more productive, or you're learning to play the tuba. All of these different people I was with this weekend, it doesn't matter. It's the connection that is at the heart of it. It's not the advice. It's not even saying that it's going to be okay. So often we just want the other person to hear it's gonna be okay. And we think in saying that it makes them feel better, but it's even before that is the thing that makes them feel better. It's tuning into them and just being there with them in deep connection, empathic connection. And that has to happen before education. It has to happen before an engagement takes place. And I think so many people are trying to skip that step of like, buy my course, buy this thing. And the price needs to end in a 7 or it doesn't count. $497, you get 37 courses and this 19-page PDF document with, you get the point. That is useless without connection. I've always been a bit of a rebel. So as the market moves towards AI and moves towards bots and tries to add as much leverage to things to dehumanize, because that's how you scale, I'm gonna march in the other direction. And I'm gonna broaden my impact by focusing on connection, by focusing on going deep with people, to focusing on just being human. I really feel like that is the advantage right now. That is what people are craving. So I don't want to scale, I want to care deeply. I do care deeply. And I want myself to be able to feel that, and I want the person that I care about to be able to feel that. And so this weekend I totally rethought the direction that I was headed and the way that I want to be working with people. And I intentionally keep what I do a bit of a secret, but this year the plan basically was to really tighten up or put together the coursework, the curriculum of what people are doing when they're working with me. Now that I've been working with people for a few months, I see very clearly the different areas that we need to address. And so I was gonna tighten that up, and then I was gonna shift to creating more beautiful videos, both here on YouTube and for that kind of rough cut coursework that I put together. And then in Q4, I was gonna come out with this offering to help people through their process of overcoming fear, stepping into their purpose, opening their heart. And now all of that is out the window. I take it back, not all of it, but it's going to be accomplished in a totally different way. All of that stuff still needs to happen, because that's the education piece. And the weekly group call that we do now, or two that we're doing, it still needs to be there, because things come up out of that community call that are so much better than I can come up with. And it's an opportunity to connect with not just me, but other people. And even more importantly, to share your service and your gifts with the rest of the people in the container. So all of those things need to stay. However, what needs to be doubled down on, which is what I was thinking I was getting away from, is this heart-to-heart connection. And what that looks like to me is just a human relationship. When I want to talk to you, I call you. When you want to talk to me, you call me. And we communicate about what's happening in our lives, and we share wisdom with one another, and we walk the path together. We walk each other home, as Ram Dass would say. The other thing that really caught my attention is there was somebody here who's spending days with their people. And I really love that idea. So kicking things off with like a 5-day immersive where we're spending time together, we're meditating, we're talking about the gene keys, having meals, moving our bodies, breath work. I live my life in a very simple, very practice-heavy way. And it's what allows me to move through the world as I move through the world to the best of my ability. And I think it could be really impactful for somebody that's maybe just getting going on their journey, or somebody that is really stuck in their head. So this is the first time I've really talked about what it is I do. If it's of any interest to you, book a call. I'll put the link in the description for the video. Thank you for listening. I'd love for you to spread this movement. If you own a business, work in a business, let's counterbalance what's happening and remember our humanity. And there's nothing wrong with AI and the other tools that are popping up. We just have to maintain this. Thank you for being here with me. Until next time.